Welcome to Daybreak Fraser Valley Weekend. I'm Carrie Moore.
And I'm Kelly Patton. This week you are really going to enjoy our guest, Josh Draheim of the Chilliwack Salvation Army.
We also have a great interview this week with Logan Bryan with Abby Cat Daddy of Abbotsford. He says spay and neuter your pets. Don't spay the same and neuter the same one. Spay the females. You know what I mean. Okay,
all right. And all the news that you need from around the valley to keep you up to date on everything happening and events not to miss this week.
We'll give you all this lowdown right after the break. So what did you get up to this weekend?
I had a great weekend. So I did the new moon. Remember we talked about this?
You did.
The sound bath, and it was pretty fantastic.
Okay.
It's basically guided meditation, but there's
a weird noise.
No, so many weird noises. But it was really good. I feel like, my chakras are aligned. I learned what that was all about. And, the vibrations are in sync, I guess. But it was pretty fantastic. And it was a great addition to just my gardening.
There you go. I got all aligned by going kayaking.
Where did you go?
We went to Kakwa Lake. We've never been there. It was wonderful.
Okay.
Yes, I just get in my zone out there. There's no noise. It's just really wonderful.
Speaking of noise, I live up at Cultus Lake. You can smell the campfires now. Construction, I hope, is on the out, but all the people are coming in.
All the traffic, yes.
So everyone needs to make sure that they give themselves lots of time if they're going up to the lake.
Yeah, I avoid that lake.
What are you up to this weekend?
I'm going to hopefully hang out in the pool, but it looks like it's going to rain again.
Rain is good. It makes the flowers grow.
It does. We don't have to water.
Yeah.
Because watering restrictions are on already.
Well, I've been enjoying the sun. A little rain, maybe it's a movie day, and then back out.
Yes.
Back outside. So.
Exactly. Okay, time to get serious. Let's dig into the headlines in the Fraser Valley news this week.
All right. So first, we want to start in Abbotsford. Okay, so 2 youths were cleared
in a fatal
stabbing of an Abbey teen. Really important because, they were arrested, taken into custody right away.
And then were cleared of it completely.
Yes.
So somebody else was out there.
Absolutely. And the parents of the slain boy are just saying, it's about remembering him. It's
celebrating him.
About community. So
and not revenge or anything like
absolutely.
that. So that's amazing that they are.
So the IHIT team is all over it. And I hope that there's resolution for the family soon.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was another one, but not fatal, stabbing in Mission.
Okay, yes, and teenager again.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And they do, I think, have people in custody for that one.
Yeah, and it's a stressful time, and so I'm just going to say there are mental health resources available. If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out. Yeah, that's really tough. And hard
Cherish
for the
your little
community.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even your not so little ones.
Yeah. Speaking of not so little, Chilliwack soccer player.
That's right.
He earned a spot on the Whitecaps U15 team.
Okay, this is incredible. And he's played and been invited all over. So like Spain and the UK and for US teams.
Started when he was 6.
This is awesome. Yeah. So congratulations. That's going to be really exciting. On the flip side of the coin, again in Chilliwack, a driver struck 2 vehicles and a pedestrian in
a Chilliwack parking lot.
Yeah, like Salish.
Yeah.
Salish Park or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Okay,
I hope that maybe it was a medical issue. I don't know.
I'm not sure. No details, but no judgment without information, right? We listen, we learn, we do not judge.
We don't.
Okay.
They are having an argument in Harrison, though.
They're always having an argument in Harrison, but I feel like this one is not only an important conversation to be having, but that there is going to be some resolution. So
yes, because for those of you who don't know, they have fenced off the hot springs.
Yeah, so
or access to the hot springs.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yes, the resort that has rights to part of the hot springs has fenced off an area that has some like a little nickname that we're not going to use for the access to the hot springs pool. There was a lot of commotion before because there had been some work done that wasn't approved, and so they're remediating that.
Yeah.
And the province has now made a statement saying that the fencing is temporary while the resort remediates and returns it to its natural state. And that implies to me that it should be, those fences should be coming down once that work is done.
And things should be looking more natural.
Yeah, I mean, Staelis has been using those springs since time immemorial.
Yeah, and they should have access to it.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, so...
This one's a different one. You might know some of the ins and outs of this. So the Langley MLA, she's going to lose her dual role. So she's a city council person and an MLA. So like 2 jobs. And they've passed legislation to stop that, which I think...
Yes, so we've just wrapped up the last week of session for the BC legislature. And one of the pieces of legislation brought in that was a little controversial to some people, but not many.
It's common sense, I think.
Is, yes, not being able to hold this dual role. So typically, we have a lot of MLAs and maybe even MPs who are in local government, municipal government, who get elected into different portfolios with the province as MLAs, which is really great because then you have that knowledge that moves. But they traditionally resign.
They step down. And then we have to have a by-election.
Yes. Well, by-election if it's within a certain time, of course. So this MLA in Langley claims that she wasn't stepping down because she wanted to save taxpayer money on a by-election, but she was she was double dipping. And there was a lot of controversy about that. And so legislation had to be brought in to make it official that no, you can't collect 2 taxpayer.
And it's not just about her, it's moving forward.
Everyone. Yeah, everyone. So if you're elected as an MLA, it's a more than full-time job. I can share that insight.
For sure. You had lots of help too, so.
And we know how hard our city councillors work as well. So
and there's sometimes conflicts of interest. There's things that city does, that province do,
and you have to advocate from one to the other. So absolutely, I think this is the right choice. I understand she's very unhappy about it, and that's unfortunate. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, after the break, be prepared to meet a very charming young man who actually was a speaker at TEDx. Topics was something about being a Sith, a Star Wars reference. Not sure. We're going to find out after the break.
Welcome back. We are with Josh Draheim now from Chilliwack Salvation Army. Welcome to Daybreak.
Thank you so much. You got me up real early in the morning to be here, but I am here. I forgot to put product in my hair. It's fine. We're here.
It's good. But before we go with Salvation Army, what about you? Some little birdie told us you have a TED Talk out there.
I don't know.
What was it on?
Something about Siths, I think.
Something, or do you remember
like the Star Wars Sith?
Okay, here's the thing. I had what I thought was a really good idea. And so the idea of the TED Talk was around civil discourse in around politics and I went and I traced back the kind of democratic theory around discourse and how conversations about politics are so essential to a functioning democracy. But I thought that's boring. No one wants to talk about that. So how can I give this a bit of pizzazz? And so I framed the whole TED Talk around Star Wars and Anakin and Obi-Wan and their conversation about absolutes and only a Sith deals in absolutes, Anakin. And I did the whole TED Talk on that theme. And so I called the TED Talk How to Not Be a Sith. Because essentially a Sith deals in absolutes. And what I was observing politically, probably speak to this a little bit more, was people were increasingly just dealing in either you're 100% for me or you're 100% against me. There's no in between. There's no room for, I don't mind this. I don't love what you're doing here, but this is actually a really good idea. It's either I support this 100% or I'm against it 100% and pick a side or else. And we call that, I think, now tribalism. I called it absolutism at the time. And so I tied in this whole Star Wars thing and I called it How to Not Be a Sith. And everyone thought the TED Talk was about Star Wars. And then I'm sure was really disappointed. Those Star Wars fans clicked on the video let's go. And then this kid in a white belt talked about John Stuart Mill for 15 minutes. And
so we'll all be Googling that.
Yeah, we're looking that up when we go home.
And anytime we talk about divisiveness or divisiveness, depending on what you call it, and it's okay to call it either one.
Yes.
I'll think of a Sith.
I'll be posting that from now on as a reference.
Well, there's 2 funny things about it. First of all, my brother, of all people, loves it. And he constantly is like, Josh, I told someone about your TED Talk today. And I'm like, okay, so all those 50 views are just you over and over again. The second thing is I've been married 18 months. My wife's never watched it.
Good for her.
Her brother looked it up after the first date. And
Said, "Don't watch that."
and said and tried to show it to her, and she just categorically refuses. She's like, I can't do it. I public speak to this day. She leaves the room. She has to leave.
You know what though? Is it the Star Wars thing? Is it the public speaking thing?
It's the public speaking thing.
Or is
It's
it
the white belt.
Okay, the white belt has been thoroughly retired. I just need to clarify that. But yeah. It was a little rough. Though it's a white belt, and the pants are a little tight.
Oh.
Truthfully, or no, actually a little loose. They're a little baggy.
Okay, good. 'Cause
They're a
you
little
gotta have a
loose.
reason for
They
the
didn't
belt.
look super trim. I just don't think I looked my best in the TED Talk.
And what year was this?
2017.
Okay, it's a while
sweet.
ago.
It was a long time
forgive you for
ago.
that, yeah.
I was not dating anyone. I did not have my wonderful wife to advise me
On no white
fashion
belt.
and to
Yeah.
say, skip the belt.
Okay.
To say, ditch it.
Perfect.
And put on a brown belt like everyone else. Or something like that.
Mm-hmm,
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I met Barris through that. So, I mean, that's still paying dividends to this day. I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for that, truthfully.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
that's true.
Well,
Because you've done other things for Barris, though, haven't you?
I have
were on
worked
the
like
air
a
for a
dog
while.
for
Yes,
Barris.
you
Like,
have.
honestly, he just
Yeah.
shoots me a text and is like, jump, and I have to say how high.
Drive up there, yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's been so fun.
Yeah.
I got to do sports with Barris for a while. I've got to do so many different things. The Rotary Christmas show done a couple times. That was a lot of fun. Dressed like an elf a couple times. It's been great. It's been so fun.
Nice.
Honestly, the elf suit is better than the white belt.
you know what?
A step up.
It's impressive what bears can talk a person
Willing
into.
to, yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Very persuasive man.
Yeah.
A very persuasive man.
All right, so let's get.
You're not a
something-
TED Talker anymore.
No.
What do you do now?
This.
It's a little shield.
Yeah, I grew up around the Salvation Army, right? Like I went to the church, I played on the worship team, the whole 9 yards, and so in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, they're like, we could really use a volunteer coordinator. That was terrible. Like that was really hard to be a volunteer coordinator in the pandemic, and you're trying to change your rules every other week, and that was a lot. But it kind of segued into the role I have now, which is community partnerships, basically making friends with people, talking about what we're doing in the community. What I've found is a lot of people in this community have a deep love for the Salvation Army. They care about the ministry, they care about what's happening, but they don't actually know the details. They know the shield, they respect it, but they don't know the details of what's happening. And so I
They trust you guys.
Yeah, which is amazing. But what I've loved is getting a chance to show people and tell people about the things we're doing and opening their eyes and go, oh, wow, I knew you guys were doing good work. I didn't know you were doing all of these different things. So that's been really fun part of it. And that's what I'm doing now. That's probably why I'm here, honestly. You know, if I was
I'll give
just
you that.
nobody, then Barris would never
Oh my
text me.
goodness.
Oh,
And there's something new happening on Wednesdays now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the lead-in. Appreciate that. Every Wednesday night, we are doing something called Food Bank After Hours. Basically what happened is I was in the food bank, and I got talking to someone coming to pick up a hamper. Her name, not real name, of course, but we'll call her Nicole. Single mom, has a daughter in middle school, and she was telling me how she's missing work to come get her hamper. And I was like, what? Like what's your shift? And she's like telling me about her work schedule, and it's like, oh, there's literally like, you don't have another option. So she says, it's really awkward. I have to go ask my boss and be like, hey, can I come into work late to get my hamper? Or hey, can I leave 30 minutes early to go get my food hamper or visit the pantry? The pantry is like our free grocery store thing. I think you've both seen it. So it just was really sad. And I talked to a couple volunteers, and the feedback I was getting was this was not uncommon. This was, everyone is saying, that's super common. Yeah, people, coming on their work break, people trying to fit it in, picking up their kids after school, swinging by. And I was like, this is silly. We need to do more for these people. We need to do better. They're doing their best for the families and the people they're looking out for. What can we do? We need to do our best. And so we're calling it Food Bank After Hours. It's every Wednesday from the pantry, our grocery store, free grocery store, open from 2 to 6. And then hamper appointments in the food bank are going to be all day, including an added time slot from 3:30 to 6:30. Normally we end at 3:30, but you can book all the way through on Wednesdays to 6:30.
That's amazing.
So it's just, I know it's not much. Some people are like, oh, I work till 6. At this point, it's what we can do.
Yep.
It's a step. We're doing our best, and hopefully it opens up for so many of these people who are working for their families and doing what they can and are still having trouble getting by.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be a barrier. So please call the Salvation Army office, 604-792-0001, and just ask about food bank after hours or after hours, and they can give you all the details.
Even if you want to volunteer for that? 'Cause
Absolutely,
your volunteers
100%.
are probably like, what? You
Yes,
gotta work
definitely,
later?
definitely.
Yeah.
It's a whole new like time slot. So
Yep.
100%. If you want to volunteer, either our website or again, call the office and they can connect you to our volunteer coordinator. It's really cool. I want to see new clients, people who have never come to the food bank before, or people like Nicole who have, done all the right things and are now having to awkwardly miss work. It just shouldn't be happening in our community. Yeah. We want to provide opportunity for people. So that's what it's all about.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And when we're talking about food security and we're talking about people who are food insecure, even when they're working full time and
it doesn't stretch it anymore. Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
No, and that's what we're finding. And that's, I think, the saddest part. And again, it's like, on the one hand, it's good to see new people accessing the programs and the stigma around food bank and food bank usage breaking down. That is a immense positive. But it also speaks to a growing community and a community and an economy where you can do all the right things. And it's not always enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But it sounds like there's a bridge here. So
yeah, 100%.
Thank you so much for doing that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
amazing.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Really, really appreciate it. And so grateful to be here.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. Up next, we have, you have your interview with Logan Bryan of Abby Cat Daddy.
Yes, it's going to be so good.
That sounds
right
intriguing.
back.
I don't even know what that
Very
is.
good. Hello, today I get the opportunity to interview Logan Bryan from the Abby Cat Daddy. Welcome here, Logan.
Thank you for having me.
So how long have you been doing Abby Cat Daddy?
Abby Cat Daddy, I started as a Facebook page just over 3.5 years ago, I'm going to say, because I was still with another rescue at that point.
Okay.
And then I left and didn't intend on making a rescue and slowly evolved into one, and we probably became a rescue organization about 3 years ago today. Yeah.
Wow.
Around today, not like specified.
Not today. Okay. And then you are a not-for-profit as well, right?
Yeah, so we are now a registered charity. So we've been a society in BC, a not-for-profit society for 2 years. And then we've now been a charity since February.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Yeah. So why cats?
Because they're cute and fluffy and I love them. Because they are everywhere and they get kind of neglected in a lot of ways. If you drive down Township Line or any of the farm roads in Abbotsford or Chilliwack, you will see a cat. And a lot of people, especially in our Western societies, kind of see them as objects and not beings of their own, deserving of their own autonomy. So that's a natural pull for me. And as an animal advocate in general and a vegan, I was trying to find something that caused my passion to extend and something that could be palatable to the general public, because not everyone cares about farmed animals, which is sad. But that is the truth of how cats kind of became my calling.
Yeah. And so what do you actually do to help the cats?
So we do a lot of different programs. We have our general rescue. We intake surrenders, street cats that are adoptable. We'll take them in, get them neutered, get them spayed, give them ID, vaccines, get any health care. Last year we had a kitten that had an eye that was rupturing, so we had to get that removed. And there's tons of other stuff that happen all the time, like parasites. So we do that and then adopt them out. We also have a low-cost spay and neuter program, so you can get your cat spayed or neutered for as low as $165.
That's pretty
and that comes with your chip, vaccine, take home meds, and the actual surgery itself. There is some more stuff you can add on if you want to, but it's $165 as our basic. We also, I don't remember what else we do. We do TNR. That's actually how I started in the rescue field. So even before I was with another rescue, I got involved with helping a couple different rescues trap cats for our TNR. So that's trap, neuter, return. So you trap them, you take them to surgery, they get vaccinated, they get usually an ear tip or a tattoo to identify that they've gone through a program, and then you return them back to their site. So that's kind of like the main stuff. Sometimes, very rarely, we do help with medical bills if we're able to. I had a case just recently that I'm helping right now. She had urinary issues, so that was kind of a sore spot for me because I lost my first cat due to urinary issues. And she actually, it turned out to have more of a kidney issue instead of urinary.
Yeah.
But she is doing really well. So.
Awesome. How many cats do you actually have in your care?
So in my care or like my person?
No, yeah. You have your own cats, but the organization?
Organization, we're about 60 to 70 right now. Most of which are kittens under the age of 10 weeks. Wow. So not adoptable. They are still nursing or being bottle fed and not quite ready for sterilization, which is a requirement before we can neuter or before we can adopt out.
Awesome. So when you say in your care, you have fosters though, right? You're not all in your backyard.
Yes, not in my backyard. No, I'm not a backyard breeder. No, we have most of our cats are in fosters. So they're anywhere from North Van Delta to Chilliwack actually is our foster range. And then so most of them are there. I do have 6 babies right now that I have in my house that are being cared for just because they have a couple of special needs going on that I'm caring for, and I'd rather keep them close rather than have it as something happen to a foster that's not quite prepared for it. And then I also have my 2 own babies.
And what's the adoption fee?
So that varies. So if it's like a senior cat, we're looking at $150 or donation, depending on the situation. Adults are about $250. And then kittens, depending on, like if they're 12 weeks, so which is the youngest we'll adopt out, is $350. But if you get a pair, it's $650. So there's a $50 deduction for the pair.
Nice. So if somebody wants to adopt a cat or help you in any way, donate to your organization, how would they do that?
So they can go down to our website, the abbyCatDaddy.ca. Adoptions are under the adoptions tab. All of our cats are ready for adoptions or pre-adoptable are there. You can apply directly from the profiles. You can read about them. And then you can also go to our support the cats tab, and that will have all of our donations as well. Amazing. And we also just relaunched our Paws Up shop, so you can buy shirts like this and lanyards and other stuff with our logo, and that also helps our rescue.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to that we forgot? I think we covered it all.
Spay and neuter your cats.
Yes,
people,
exactly.
Please. Like I said, we have our program. In Chilliwack alone, there is Ina's community cat programs. There's the Chilliwack Safe Haven. There's FCM. There's several other programs in the valley. Like you can find on our website. We actually have a full list of ones that we're aware of, so that people can make the right choice for them. I don't care if it's mine or another organization. I just want to make sure that the cats are being cared for.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today, Logan. And we will be right back.
All right, welcome back. And can I just say that I want a cool nickname like Cat Daddy?
Oh no, he said it just fell out of the sky for him.
Fell out of the sky. So if you have any nicknames that just fall out of the sky, just email us.
And if you want a cat, email him.
Spay and neuter.
Yes.
Spay and neuter. And Josh.
Amazing.
I mean, the force is strong with that one.
He's always a lot of fun to be around. For sure.
All right. Well, I mean, we can talk about what's coming up this weekend. Maybe we'll change our plans. Maybe we'll find something new to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because, we could go to the Abbotsford Game 2 of the Western Canada Conference Final in Abbey Centre with the Canucks taking on the Texas Stars. Starts at 7 p.m. Saturday night. I probably won't. But, other people may love it.
And if a fight doesn't break out during the game, you could instead go to the Abbotsford Fight League event at the DAYBREAK Centre at 7 p.m. with Gagan Gill and Christian Tremaine facing off.
Wow.
I think. Should be exciting if you're into fighting like Carrie and I are.
Except if there's blood, then I pass out.
Okay,
tonight we could go see Chillith Fair. I'm going to be there. It's going to be fun. In downtown Chilliwack in the Vineyard Centre. It's an awesome selection of women artists from Chilliwack. I'm so excited. Come. Yep.
Piper Twins.
Yes. I interviewed them a few weeks ago. And the Valley Babes. I might have one of my girls in there for sure.
Fantastic.
They're pretty good together. Jenny Coleman and Alexis Beer.
Okay.
I've known Alexis since she was like 5. She's amazing.
Lori Paul, right? Spider Lodge. Okay, girl power all around. So they're all coming together for a super group finale as well, right? This is what I hear.
I don't know. So that'll be amazing.
Yeah. So doors open at 7
You could try the Totally Toby Keith tribute at Corky's. That's a tongue twister.
Tomorrow night.
Yes. And that starts at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, fantastic. That feels like a major switch from estrogen to testosterone. So bring your cowboy hat, save a horse. All right. In Harrison Hot Springs on May 31st, you can enjoy live music from Lyndon Davies at the Island Patio and Lounge right at the Harrison Hot Springs Resort. Right?
Yeah, from 7 to 10, and apparently that's every Sunday.
Oh,
Not just,
I did not know. All right. In
Langley, Saturday night, see the British Tabish Band at the Artful Dodger in Langley Township, starting at 8.
Okay. Or
Maybe. Try some very, very improv at the Bez Arts Hub on Saturday, starting at 8 as well.
I always find comedy to be so funny.
I'm the expert.
You're the expert.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, it's time for another coffee and maybe get to work.
Yeah. Another coffee to help kick off my Fraser Valley weekend.
We hope you all have a fabulous Fraser Valley weekend.